everyone, and welcome to what I hope will be another super helpful Minecraft video. So today I'm going to walk you through some of the ways that Salad and I have chosen to hide our automatic farms. Now if you don't mind the look of them, that's great. This video probably isn't for you, but if you're like us and you have a certain aesthetic or theme to your world, whether you're just starting off or it's something that you've been working on for a while, I'm going to give you a few ideas that you can kind of play with, make your own to hide some of the farms so that way they can be super close by, but they won't be an eyesore. So with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe and let's hop right into the video. Alright, so welcome to our little bit of everything server. This is a world that we've been working on for about a year and a half, kind of on and off. We have a lot of buildings in here, which also means a lot of space for farms. Now, the biggest thing that I'll say is that you can absolutely put them in buildings, but don't be afraid to put them underground. I'm going to give you a tour of, I think it's about 5 different farms that we have in this world. And a lot of them are actually pretty close by. So with that being said, let's head up to here. This was also all done in survival, but for ease of showing you guys, I'm just going to hop into creative and spectator mode to make things a little bit easier. So up here we have a shepherd's house. We decided to use cherry blossom wood. We have the shepherd, but if you come back here, obviously if he's a farmer and he needs to have wheat, he's going to have a barn. So inside the barn, we've actually hidden our wool farm. Super easy to make, super easy to hide. You can also expand or make this as small as you want, color them different colors. It's just a really easy farm that's super helpful, especially if you like to build a lot. So just kind of give you an overview. This is probably, I think, one of the first farms that we made. So from the outside, you can't really tell, which is really nice. So yeah. All right, moving on to our next farm, which I think is probably one that if you're in a long-term world, you're going to have. So this beautiful windmill right here actually holds our iron farm. So it is a little bit chunky, but windmills aren't, you know, they have to hold the big, the big, what are these? They're not turbines. These big things on it. So you can also make it look a little bit better with adding some texturing. You can add some different like widths as well. But if you hop in here, because it uses villagers, you shouldn't really have a whole lot of doors. So these are actually trap doors. And then we have our iron in there. But if I hop into game mode spectator, we can actually take a look inside. So this is what it looks like inside. Pretty empty. You'll have to like spawn proof it. That's why we have the slabs here. But yeah, it just makes things a little bit easier and a little bit nicer. So instead of looking at, you know, what's inside all the time, you can look at this really beautiful aesthetic windmill. And I feel like for the majority of themes for Minecraft builds, a windmill is going to fit, unless you're doing super modern, but then a skyscraper is super easy. So that just gives you a few ideas. I'm going to switch back into creative though, because I like to see my little cursor. Okay, so those are 2 that are super helpful. And if we come over here to our remodeled observatory, it wasn't always like this, but I'm absolutely loving it. If we hop down and we go in here, this is actually a creeper farm as well. You can kind of see it a little bit. But yeah, we had an observatory for like the more fantasy look of things. And you can see they drop down here. It's super easy. And I think one way that you're like, hey, I don't know where I want to put a farm. If you have bigger buildings like this, it's empty space. You can always put one in. Their creeper farm is super quiet anyways. We used snow golems to attract them. And it's super easy. It's super quiet. And I mean, this was all dead space anyways. And we're eventually going to have a telescope going off of it. But yeah, to me, you can't really tell that any farm was in here. So it's super close to kind of our home base, which makes building rockets much, much easier. And yeah, it's not an eyesore. Now, kind of coming down to our harbor area, we have this dripstone building over here, and we have plans in this back alleyway to eventually make a dripstone farm down here. We haven't yet, but this is just one example of using underground space to hide stuff that you don't really need all the time. So having a little bit more of a difficult way to get to it isn't a bad thing. Now, if we fly over to our fisherman village and we plop down here, we have another plans right in this like little farming hut to build a sugarcane farm down here. Again, it's not fully finished, nor do we have a farm here, but again, it's kind of the planning stages, but we will have one soon because I hate running out of rockets. In between the two, you can definitely, I know especially with the autocrafter coming out, some people like to have them super close by to one another so that way they can autocraft rockets. It's not a super big deal, and being that it's so close together, I personally don't feel a need for it, but if that's something that you want to do, you'll just need a space that's a little bit bigger. Now, this is kind of our mine, so we're going to clear these out. I'm so sorry to the original villager houses, but we're eventually going to have some houses dotted along the hillside as kind of like a little a little mining village. And if you come down here, this is again not fully done, but I find it really important in like long-term Minecraft worlds, follow what you want to do and not necessarily like finishing every project to a T at once. So down here, hidden in a cave far away from our main hub, not necessarily by blocks, but by the width of blocks, so we don't hear the villagers always grunting and hawing. But yeah, we have an entire villager base down here, and I really like the idea of putting it underground. The reason for this is so you don't hear them constantly grunting, but also because I can expand both ways as far as I want to, being that I'm in quite a big big mountain, and I can continue to go further back if there's more villagers added. So our eventual plan is to have a different branch for each type of villager. So personally, I think that having it underground where it's not going to be a huge building, a huge eyesore, is really useful and important to me. But like I said, it is a massive mountain, so putting it underground just kind of made sense for us, and then it was close by, so that way we can kind of go to all of our farms super quickly if we need anything. Now, when we come back, I will be at our Guardian Farm Village, which is not hidden, and we'll kind of talk about that more. Alright, so here's our Ocean Monument Farm. Now, as you can see, it is not hidden within a different structure. It is not hidden underground. It is technically hidden underwater. It is technically underwater, but I just wanted to show you guys this one because it's not something super crazy or extravagant. It's minimally decorated right now, and I may decorate it more down the line. I know some people do some crazy beautiful builds with theirs, but that's just something that we decided not to do. So in spirit of that, if you guys like the look of normal automatic farms, that's fine. These are just a few of the ways that we've chosen to hidden ours as a way to make our world a little bit more aesthetic. Now you can kind of meet in the middle, where you could like do a little bit of decoration. We change this to moss, but you don't have to go crazy with it. I just want to show you guys this to tell you guys that you don't always have to hide things, or you don't always have to disguise them as something else. It's okay to just have a farm if you like the look of it. Also, as a partially funny disclaimer, I would like to add that we did not add in any of these iron golems, nor do we have any idea why they're here. We have 2 villagers in there, but we've never had this problem before. So I wanted to say this is not a farm of any sort. It was just kind of a weird thing that happened that we decided to kind of keep in our world. So if you saw this and you're like, oh, what is that? Truthfully, I don't know ourselves. It was just a happy little accident, we'll say. With that being said, I just wanted to give you guys a few ideas or helpful ways that we've chosen to kind of hide farms in our world or disguise them as something else to where it fits the aesthetic. It is definitely not something that you need to do, but if you're interested, um, in making the aesthetic of your world a little bit more cohesive, it's definitely a super easy way that you can do so. I think in the future I will start to make tutorials on, like, for instance, how I built the windmill or how I built some of the, like, observatory and other buildings that I've made in this world. So if you're interested in that, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on post notifications so that way you know when I'm going live or when I upload a video. Alright, everyone, I hope that was at least somewhat helpful, or you got some ideas or a little bit of inspiration from the ways that we've chosen to hide our farms, or really just stow them away somewhere that's easy to access but not close enough to hear, I don't know, like villager grunts or something. But with that being said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, or follow on Twitch. We're live over there as well. And if you're interested in more Minecraft tutorials, they will be coming soon. You can check out this video or this video, depending. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!